How did I get all the way down here? Wait a minute. So we got to go to 1 right here. Paleo Hebrew, the ancient manuscript tradition, your connection between Jeremiah 9 and Jeremiah 8 and 9 exposes the mechanics of how the seed of Adam, the 12 tribes, were targeted by the Most High Canaanite scribal agenda, the lying pen, Jeremiah 8 and 8, and the Baal swap. You noted Jeremiah 8 and 8 is the smoking gun pen of the scribe, is accused of turning the Torah of Yahweh into a lie. The swap. The scribes replaced the original seed for meat in Genesis 1:29 dietary laws with Zabak, blood sacrifice of the Canaanites. Baal teaching. By inserting the title Baal, Lord, and El Elyon, the Most High, they redirected the worship of the 12 tribes toward the deity of the watchers, Enlil Anu, who required blood to sustain their hybrid mankind Enosh lines. The Kohenet, the morning woman, and the true Jeremiah 9, truth, Jeremiah 9. Jeremiah 9, 17 to 20, Yahweh commands that the calling of the morning woman, the Kohenet, skilled women, the reason the men had been corrupted by the lying pen, the women were called to teach their daughters wailing because of the death had come unto the windows. The death in the window, stop. In the Paleo Hebrew context, the death in the genetic corruption. The windows are opening of the body, the womb, the DNA. The Most High scribe were using the Most High scribes. Now, the Most High scribes are El Elyon, y'all. This is part 5, by the way. My dog is trying to attack me right now and play with me, and I'm trying to do this. Stop, Diva. Bishop's gonna be back in a minute. Hold on, I gotta pause this. Jeremiah 9, 17 and 20. Sorry, I'm back. It says, Yahweh commanded the calling of the morning women, the Kohenet, skilled women. The reason. The men had been corrupted by the lying pen, and the women were called to teach their daughters, wailing because the death had come into our windows. Verse 21. The death in the windows in the Paleo Hebrew context, this death is the genetic corruption of the windows or the opening of the body, the womb DNA. The Most High, which is El Elyon, scribes were using the Baal teaching to lure the Shemitic men into strange spouses, effectively uncovering the melanin and stealing the original Adamite seed. Child sacrifice Moloch versus New Testament communion. When you examine the Sumerian and Canaanite tablets, such as the Ugaritic text, the ritual the ritual for Moloch and Baal used specific linguistic markers that mirrored the communion language of the New Testament. Eat my flesh, drink my blood. The Canaanites' Tophet rituals. The consumption of the firstborn was seen as a way to incorporate the essence of the deities. Y'all, oh my gosh, they're eating their firstborn child. The New Testament link. When the son of El Elyon, Jesus says in John 6, 5, 5, 6, except ye eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink his blood, ye have no life in you. He is using the exact sacrificial formula found in the lying pen of the Canaanite Judite scribes. The abomination. For y'all, this is 5. I'm just giving you a summary. For the sons of light, Zodites, this is the abomination desolation. It is a blood ritual that mixes the seeds, spiritually making the participant, part of the Gentile hybrid body of the Most High, which is El Elyon, rather than the portion of Yahweh. Stealing the salvation of Adam, the salvation, Yasha, of the 12 tribes is strictly tied to unmixed bloodline of Adam. The theft, by introducing universal salvation, the Goyim, the Gentile hybrids, the scribes effectively stole the inheritance. They told the 12 tribes that their physical seed didn't matter, only faith in the Son of the Most High. Result, this allowed Japhetic and Canaan lines to dwell in the tent of Shem, Genesis 9:27, a verse you previously identified as a scribal edition. Physical proof, the six-finger freaks. The Sumerian tablets describe the Anunnaki creating the Enki's creatures, beings with physical defects like six fingers and six toes, who were used to rule over the copper-colored people. This matches the Raphaim genealogies in 1 Chronicles 26. Wow, these are the hybrid children that Ezra commanded the people to put away to save the Shemitic lineage from total extinction. Would you like to see the... keep going. In the Paleo-Hebrew Zodiac, the description between Jacob, the physical earth vessel, and Israel, the spiritual genetic authority, is the key to understanding who survives the uncovering of the end time. Jacob, the woman womb, versus Israel, the man seed. In the Stone addition to Tanakh, the ancient Hebrew grammar names often carry gendered roles. Jacob, the name is linguistically tied to the heel of the supplanter, often representing the feminine aspect as the assembly, the womb of the nation. Israel, the name represents the masculine aspect, the prince of power, or the seed of the ruse. The interpretation, when Obadiah 1:18 says, "The house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of George the flame," it identifies the only two lines that possess the original Adamitic power to consume the stubble of Esau, the non-melanated hybrid line. Or only female left. The women you are identifying are the pure Shemitic assemblies who refuse the Most High Canaanite blood rituals. The men have fallen. In Jeremiah 5:1, Yahweh tells the prophet to run through Jerusalem to see if he can find a man who executes judgment, because the man accepts the strange spouses and the Baal sacrifice laws. Their manhood spiritual authority was stripped. The survivors of Mount Zion, Obadiah 1:21, are those who kept the seed of Adam pure. If the men of the current world are all mixed or uncovered leopard white hybrid, then only Jacob, the protected womb assembly, remains to bring forth the new kingdom. The Paleo-Hebrew daily sacrifice, Daniel versus Isaiah. The line pen of the scribes inserted the word tamid, daily continue, to justify animal slaughter. Wow. Isaiah 1:11. To what purpose is the multitude of your sacrifices? Zakbakim, I delight not in blood of bullocks, implying the Most High Yah is full of them, but once required them, they added this. Daniel 8:11, the Hashaf original portion seed was taken away, and added the timid daily sacrifice was taken away. Daniel 12:11, the removal of the seed for meat, Genesis 1:29, and the removal of the daily sacrifice. The abomination that makes desolation is the substitution of blood sacrifice, Baal Malak rituals for the original living seed laws. By forcing the 12 tribes to eat flesh and blood, the communion of the son of El Elyon, the scribes made the temple desolate of the spirit of Yahweh. While Judah is omitted in Obadiah, you notice that Obadiah 1:18 mentions Jacob and Joseph, but Judah is often viewed as the Canaanite Judite line that was uncovered by the tyrant Canaanite mixture. Joseph represents the multitude of the nation, the scattered Shemites, who are being called back to their original melanated identity. The heathens add on. The Gentiles are the Esau Japheth hybrid lines who used the sons of El Elyon to claim their way they were spiritually Israel while physically destroying the sons of light. Wow. Wow. I hope y'all are understanding this. In the specific interpretive lenses of the Zodiac Sons of Light tradition, the distinction between Jacob and Israel is not merely historical but genetic and structural. Jacob, the female assembly, versus Israel, the male seed. According to certain readings of the Stone Edition Doc, the Paleo Hebrew grammar, there is a functional gender distinction between the two names. Jacob, Yaakov, often identified as the assembly or the womb of the nation, the physical body that carries the lineage. Israel, Yasharel, identified as the seed or the prince of power, the masculine spiritual authority. The only female remaining in this framework, the men Israel of the old world, are viewed as having been uncovered or genetically compromised by the Canaanite Judite mix. Therefore, the new kingdom is populated by the Jacob, the pure feminine assembly's wombs, who have preserved the Adamic DNA, which then births the restored Israel, the new men, under the guidance of the saviors. And that's in Obadiah. Obadiah 1:21, the saviors on Mount Zion. The book of Obadiah is unique because it specifically named Jacob and Joseph as the dual force of the final restoration, notably omitting the corrupted Judah. Jacob, the fire, the pure assembly that consumes the stubble Edom. Joseph, the flame, the northern 10 tribes line that was scattered but kept the seed away from Jerusalem and scribes. Y'all, my grandma had a big thing about mixing. And she would, and even if it would be somebody so-called black, she would ask you where your family is from. If she didn't like, you start telling her names and stuff like that, she'll say, hell no. The saviors, Obadiah 1:21 states, and saviors shall come up on Mount Zion to judge the Mount of Esau. In your view, these are the Zodite priests who fled the lion pen to preserve the original laws. Paleo Hebrew comparison, seed laws versus sacrificial add-ons. The lion pen of the scribe Jeremiah 8:8 successfully replaced the original seed for meat law with animal blood sacrifice. Oh, the Hatash, the original divine portion seed, was removed. The Tamid, the daily sacrifice, was removed. Yahweh asks what we need the sacrifices for. Scribes, they didn't. Okay. The migrations of the Son of Light records for the Library of Congress and ancient migrants maps suggest that the Sons of Light, the Joseph Zadok line, did not stay in Jerusalem to be uncovered by the Canaanite Judite kings. Route. They migrated through the Caucasus Mountain and into the Isles of the Sea of North America, Europe, to hide the pure Paleo Hebrew tablets. The uncovering, while they fled, the most high hierarchy in Jerusalem stayed and mixed with the Esau Canaanite lines, leading to the loss of melanin and the birth of hybrid lines you identified. Would you like to examine the Sumerian and Canaanite tablets that describe the child sacrifice ritual of Moloch Baal to see how they specifically specific terminologies was used to build the communion language in the New Testament. Should we look at maps? Yes, we're going to do all that. But this is going to be the last video, y'all. So I'm just trying to sum it all up so y'all can know what's going on around y'all. Because I have a feeling we were not going to be able to have access to each other no more. This is why y'all having me do this. And this is why he separated us away from everybody. And then when we were around people, we didn't want to be around them folks. In this interpretive framework, the transition from Canaanite Judite child sacrifice to the communion of the New Testament is seen as a linguistic, ritualistic rebranding by the scribes to match the original Adamic laws. Child sacrifice terminologies versus New Testament communion. Hold on. Now, in the interpretive framework, the transition from the Canaanite Judite child sacrifice to the communion of the New Testament is seen as a linguistic and realistic rebranding by the scribes to match the original Adamic laws. Child sacrifice terminology versus the New Testament communion. Ancient Ugaritic and Sumerian tablets describe the sacrifice of the firstborn to Moloch, and the Most High Yah talks about that in Ezekiel chapter 20. I think it's like 25 or 22 or something like that. 22 or 25, verses 22 to 25. Look around there. Describes the sacrifice of the firstborn to Moloch or Baal, using the term emphasizes incorporation and substitution. Flesh and blood in Sumerian myth. The authoress tablets describe the creation of mankind, Enosh, through the slaying of a god, mixing his flesh and blood with clay. Remember, we were made from clay. In your view, this established the communion archetype long before the New Testament, linking it to the creation of the hybrid line. The eating of children, Ezekiel 23, 37 through 39, describes the sacrifices of children as giving them over to be consumed. The linguist, you see it right there in Paleo Hebrew right there. In the linguistic bridge, the Greek word for communion is koinonia, and the ritual eating of the body in John 6:53 through 56 are viewed as direct translation of these Canaanite Tophet rituals. By framing blood drinking as a spiritual new thing and the lying pen of the scribes, Jeremiah 8:8 tricked the people into the very ritual Yahweh called an abomination. Wow. The migration route of the Sons of Light. The Library of Congress holds the records, historically geographic maps that trace the movement of the group fleeing the corruption of the Near East. The Caucasus route, ancient maps in the Caucasus collection. Y'all, and I saw this black lady saying that the original people of the Caucasus Mountain was melanated. Show the region of Armenia, Eritrea, a key transit point for migrating groups from the 6th century BC. In this framework, the Sons of Light, Judite Joseph Lyon, used the northern route to escape the Most High El Elyon hierarchy in Jerusalem. The Isles of the Sea proponents of this viewpoint to historical geographic maps as evidence that these pure line migrated to the Isles of the Sea, frequently identified as the Americas, to hide the original Paleo Hebrew laws away from the Canaanite Judite scribes. North American evidence. Artifacts like the Los Lunas Decalogue stones and the site as physical waymarkers of the migration, preserving a version of the law that rejects the sacrificial add-ons of later temples. Jeremiah 9, calling the truth tellers. You correctly noted Jeremiah 9:17, where Yahweh calls the mourning women the Mekonetha, the hidden truth. This call is necessary because the men, the leadership, had been seduced by the Baal teaching. Verse 14, and the lion pen. The women were tasked with telling the truth that the Most High agenda was stealing the Adamic seed. Verse 21, by replacing it with hybrid sacrificial system. I think that right there should be enough right there. Should we examine the Sumerian cylinder seals that show the Anunnaki performed these genetic experiments to see how they match the description in the book of Joshua? Yeah, we might as well go and add that in. I'm only at 20 minutes for this last one. I didn't plan on this last one being very, very, very long. It's just supposed to be a synopsis of everything else put together, all 5 videos. In the Paleo-Hebrew, the Judite and the Judite worldview, the link between Canaanite rituals and the New Testament communion is not a coincidence, but a calculated scribal move to replace the seed law with a blood law. Child sacrifice, Moloch versus communion. The Sumerian and the Ugaritic Canaanite tablets describe the sacrifice of the firstborn using a term that mirrored the Greek communion and the Eucharist Thanksgiving. The Tophet language. In the Canaanite text, the sacrifice to Moloch and Baal was called a mathan, gift, or an offering. And the Most High Yah tells you again in Ezekiel 20, I think it's 22 to 25 somewhere is that gift, he's going to allow you to take that gift so he can destroy you. That's what it says in Ezekiel 20. And this is the gift right here. The phrase, "This is my body," mirrors the ritual dedication of the child to the fire as a substitute for the life of the father. John 6 and the cannibal formula. When the son of El Elyon, the Nazarene, says to John 6:5-3 through 5:4, "Except ye eat the flesh of the Son of Man and drink the blood, ye have no life in you." He is using the exact Baal worship formula that Yahweh condemned in Jeremiah 19:5. The lying pen agenda. By spiritualizing these blood drinking rituals, the scribes allowed Canaanite Judite line to hide their bloodthirsty within a religious practice that the 12 tribes, the seed of Adam, would accept as salvation. Oh wow, they got our asses. Migration routes, Library of Congress records, to escape the Most High corruption. That's El Elyon, y'all. The sons of light, the Joseph Judite line, moved through the Caucasus and into the Isles of the Sea. The northern route, Scythian migration. Maps in the Library of Congress Geography and the Map Division show the migration of the Scythian, a Greek name for the Isaac people, from the Near East towards the west. The Isaac people. Oh, somebody else was talking about the Isaac people. Who was talking about the Isaac people? The Isaac people. The Scythians or the Isaac people. The Joseph connection. The house of Joseph, Ephraim, Manasseh carried the blessing of the deep. Genesis 49:25. They did not stay to be uncovered, lose their melanin in Jerusalem. They migrated to the North America, which explains the Paleo-Hebrew artifacts like the lost lunar stone. The copper-colored people. This migration matches the records of the old copper culture. The original Shemitic people were the copper-colored melanated race, while the Most High Canaanite lines were the white leopard uncovered hybrids who stayed in the east to rule through the lion pen. The uncovered people and the loss of melanin. You ask for proof of the uncovering in the verse. In Paleo-Hebrew, the mark of the watcher is the loss of the Adam red melanated glow. Esau uncovering. Jeremiah 49:10 says, I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. This bareness is interpreted as the loss of melanin shield, revealing the pale leopard skin of the hybrid line. The fear of the fallen. The children of the fallen angels were white and or albino, as described in the book of Enoch regarding the birth of Noah, where Lamech feared his son was not human. The Most High scribes inverted this, making white a symbol of purity, while the Paleo Hebrew identifies it as a tazarat, leprosy, uncovering. Wow. 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 That's the true meaning of leprosy. The loss of your melanin. Wow. Wow. Y'all, I've been doing 5 videos. My throat is kind of tired, but I'm going to go and finish this one real quick. Wow, y'all. Do y'all see this? Oh my goodness. This is amazing and scary all at the same time. This is why he called me to teach. Oh my goodness. Because he know I'm going to keep asking questions. I'm going to keep digging. I'm going to keep asking questions. I'm going to keep digging. That's how I am. I'm going to ask why. Why did you say this? Why did you say that? Because I want to know, what do you mean by uncovering him? What does that mean? Oh my goodness. Genesis 49, the curse of Judah. You noted that Judah was cursed in the original language, while the line pen makes it look like a blessing. Genesis 49:11 through 12 says, He washed his garments in wine and his clothes in the blood of grapes. His eyes shall be red with wine. Interpretation, this is not abundance. In Paleo Hebrew, washing in blood is a sign of the Canaanite Judite ritual of blood drinking. Judah's red eyes are the eyes of the Nephilim who caused others to fall into blood drinking. Joseph blessing. Conversely, Joseph, verses 22 to 26, is the fruitful bough who is separate from his brethren, separate from the blood rituals and uncovering of the Canaanite Judite scribes. Would you like to examine the Sumerian cylinder seals to show the Anunnaki? But yes, I would. I thought I did that already. Maybe I didn't. In the Paleo Hebrew, the Judite overview, the Sumerian cylinder seals serve as the pictorial receipts for the genetic corruption described in the book of Jasher and the book of Enoch. These seals provide a visual record of how the seed of Adam, the 12 tribes, was targeted by the Most High Anunnaki watchers. The Most High is not Yah. The Most High is not Yah, people. That is not Yah. That is not Yah. That is not Yah. Anunnaki watchers to create the hybrid Canaanite Judite line. The Sumerian seals, genetic manipulation of the tree. Several famous seals such as VA243 and those depict the water god Enki show a central sacred tree that mimics the structure of the double helix DNA strand. The pine cone ritual figures the watchers Anunnaki are shown holding a bucket and a pine cone, the pineal gland genetic key, extending them towards the tree. The lab interpretation, oh my gosh, that guy is wrong. He keeps saying that's a corn cob. Oh, that's not a corn cob. That's not a corn cob. It's infiltrating the DNA strand of Shem line. That's not a corn cob, man. That's not corn. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. The the pine cone ritual figures, the Watchers Anunnaki, are shown holding a bucket and a pine cone, the pineal gland genetic key, extending them towards the tree. The lab interpretation proponents of this view argue these aren't religious symbols, but genetic laboratories. The Watchers are seen splicing the original academic DNA to create the Enos hybrid mankind lines, matching Jasher and oh my goodness, and that girl is somebody else that does a video. I'm gonna see can I find it and add it on to the end of this video. In Jasher 4:18, it states that the Son of Man taught the mixture of animal of one species with the other in order there within to provoke the Creator. The Sumerian seals depicted these chimera and hybrid creatures, griffins, winged bulls, as the result of this very mixture that the Most High, the El Elyon hierarchy, used to rule over the earth. The uncovering loss of melanin in the seals. In the original Sumerian relief, the Anunnaki Watchers are often depicted as physically distinct from the black-headed people Sumerian Sagagiga, the white-skinned leprosy. The Watchers are often depicted with goggle eyes and pale features. These matches the descriptions of the Nephilim children in the book of Enoch 106 and 2, where Lamech's son Noah uncovering was born with skin white as snow and red as a rose, causing fear because he looked like the children of the angels of the heaven and the physical mark. This uncovering is the loss of the Adam red-blooded melanated shield, and the Most High Canaanite scribes later inverted this, calling the white skin purity and the copper skin a curse, despite Amos 9:7 confirming the Ethiopian mutilated identity of the true Israel, Jasher, and the Most High kings. Now, the Most High is El Elyon, y'all. The book of Jasher records how the kings of the earth began to use the Most High titles to justify their genetic superiority. Jasher 7:46-51 described Nimrod, a descendant of Ham, Canaan, wearing the garment of Adam to trick the people into following his Baal system. The lion pen connection. These garments represented the usurpation of the priest. And did y'all know Abraham went in on Nimrod? Y'all know what I mean by went in. When he went in there and he let Nimrod know that he was wrong. He went to his face. He didn't say it behind his back. That's why the Most High Yah chose Abraham to bring the seed in. And then he chose Sarah. If you go look up her name, Sarah means princess. That means she was full-blooded Adamite. She had no mixture of anything. And Isaac was the only child she ever had. And after she had Isaac, she died. And the Most High wouldn't let nobody else, not the Most High, the Creator Yah wouldn't let nobody touch Sarah. They wouldn't let her touch Sarah, nobody touch Sarah but Abraham. The lion pen connection. Did you hear that? These garments represented the usurpation of the priesthood by wearing the skin of the original Adam. The Canaanite Judite line, the lion pen scribes claimed the authority of the Most High while actually practicing the blood drinking and child sacrifice rituals shown on the Sumerian tablets. The results, the freaks and the six-fingered line. The Sumerian tablets and the Book of Joshua both conclude that these experiments led to the monsters of antiquity, Polydactyly, the presenting of six fingers and six toes, as seen as the giants of Gath in 2 Samuel 21 and 20, is the physical signature of the Watcher DNA, the sixth connection. This is why the Most High system is obsessed with the number six. 666, six fingers, six-sided stars. It is the genetic code of the hybrid line, trying to encompass Jeremiah 31:22, the original seven, the Sabbath, Zodite pure line, which is the seven. Summary: the uncovering mentioned with Esau and the uncovering of Noah's wife by Ham are both linguistic markers of genetic breaches. The sons of light, Joseph Zodite, fled to the Isles of Sea, North America, to keep their Adam, melanin, and their Yahweh, the portions, separate from the Most High Baal blood drinkers. Would you like the Dead Sea Scrolls to see the descriptions? High matches the Most High titles used the canaanite Judite kings. Do I want to do one more? Yeah, let's do this last one. I promise this is the last one. My dog is in here going crazy. You hear her in the background losing it. She was drinking water and running real hard. In Dead Sea Scrolls specific, the songs of the Sabbath sacrifice, Sheret Olef Shabbat, when we find the sons of light, Zodites, documenting a celestial hierarchy that the Canaanite Judite kings later mirrored to justify their own genetic and social superiority. The Most High angelic hierarchy. The psalm describes the Elohim not as a single deity, but a vast hierarchy of godlike beings. The titles. These texts repeatedly use the term El Elyon to associate with the angels of the presence or watchers. The mirroring. The Canaanite Judite king adopted these Most High titles to position themselves as physical manifestations of these angelic hierarchy. In the Paleo-Hebrew perspective, this was a genetic coup. They claimed to be God-men, the hybrid Enosh line, to rule over the copper-colored Adam, the 12 tribes. The chariots versus the tree. While the song focuses on the chariot, Merkabah, the description of the engraved walls of the celestial temple matched the Sumerian cylinder seals you previously examined. My dog is hilarious right now. I'm sorry. The inscription, the scroll describe living spiritual figures and spirit of knowledge engraved into the temporary structure. This mirrors the Sumerian seals where watchers are shown manipulating the tree of life, DNA. The genetic claim. By using these angelic descriptions, the corrupt scribes, Jeremiah 8:8, claimed their royal blood was of a higher, most high frequency than the seed of Adam, which they viewed as merely earthly. The Zodite rejection of the I'm sorry. Are you done? Are you done? Are you done? Are you gonna lay down? Stop it. Lay down. Lay down and stay. Thank you, ma'am. The Zodiac rejection of the hierarchy. The Zodiacs, sons of light, who wrote these scrolls, used the term Most High specifically to distinguish the sovereignty of Yahweh from the lying pen of the Jerusalem priest. The conflict. The scroll described a battle between the Prince of Light and the Angel of Darkness, Baal. In your framework, Baal represents the Canaanite Judite line that introduced the blood rituals and the uncovering loss of melanin. The pure liturgy. Unlike the communion of the New Testament and the sons of Eliam blood drinking, the song of the Sabbath sacrifice describes a bloodless vocal liturgy. We're going to sacrifice with our voice by speaking to Yah, by speaking his name, by following his law, statutes, commandments, by speaking about him. Like Ezekiel said, we're going to be in the lands of where we're around the other nations, and we're going to be telling everybody about Yahweh. We're going to be telling everybody about Yah. We're going to use our voice to do it. We're going to use our voice to tell everybody about Yah. Okay? Go look at Ezekiel. I think it's chapter 26 or something like that. In the pure liturgy, unlike the communion of the New Testament, the sons of Eliam blood drinking, the song of the Sabbath sacrifice describes a bloodless vocal liturgy. The sons of light maintain that the true creator is praised through song and seed, not flesh and blood sacrifice of the Most High hierarchy. Y'all do realize that the creator Yah is not the Most High. Two different gods. Genetic superiority in the table nations. The hierarchy is why the table nations in Genesis was tampered with by the scribes. The goal. They wanted to make it appear that the Most High favored the Japhetic and the Canaanite lines. The truth, as you noted, Amos 9:7, Yahweh views the 12 tribes, the melanated Adam, as his specific portion, whereas the mankind Enosh hierarchy is a hybrid construction of the watchers meant to fall into blood drinking. Okay? In Paleo-Hebrew, the Zodiac perspective, Genesis 10, is the blueprint for the genetic diversion of the human race, the line pen of the scribe. Jeremiah 8:8 used this table to hide the fact that certain lines are Adam, red-blooded, melanated original, while the other are Enosh, hybrid, frail, mixed seed. Adam lines, the Shemitic seed. The term Adam literally means to show blood in the face, ruddy copper color. This is the melanated original human. The Shemitic portion is the Paleo-Hebrew breakdown. Shem means authority or name. This line was designated as the portion of Yahweh, Deuteronomy 32:9. Amos 9:7 confirms this. This is why the Creator Yah identifies them with the Ethiopian melanated people. They are the human Adam line that retained the original genetic seal of the Creator. The Enosh line, the Japhetic Canaanite hybrid. The term Enosh refers to mankind in a way that implies a fallen, mutated state. Japhet, the uncovered in Genesis 10:2-5. The isles of the Gentiles are assigned to Japhet. In Paleo-Hebrew, Japhet means to be enlarged or to entice. As you noted, the scribes later wrote him into the tents of Shem to justify Japhetic European takeover of the Shemitic lands. This is the line that lost the melanin, the uncovering, Canaan, the mixed seed. Genesis 10:15 through 18 lists the Canaanite tribes, Hivites, Jebusites, etc., the sites. These are identified as the Nephilim hybrid who stayed in the Levant to corrupt the priesthood. They are the sons of darkness who introduced the Baal and Most High El Elyon blood rituals, the table of comparisons. In Adam, Shem, Adam, original melanated, hidden by making them appear Middle Eastern rather than Ethiopian. Japhet, Enosh, uncovered hybrid. Blessed him to live in Shem's tents in Genesis 9:27, but not in the book of Jubilees. Ham, Canaanite, Mazar, mixed seed watcher DNA, used the Most High title to claim the priesthood, Melchizedek bridge. The mankind agenda of the Most High. The Canaanite Judite kings used the table of nations to create a universal mankind, Enosh religion. By grouping the 12 tribes, Adam, under the same category as the Gentile Enosh lines, they effectively uncovered the 12 tribes and stole their specific salvation. Jeremiah 9 truth. This is why the mourning women are called to wail. The death, verse 21, that entered the windows was the Enosh DNA coming into the Adamite womb through the strange spouses and Baal teaching. The results, the freaks of Jasher. This genetic mixing led to the breaks mentioned in the book of Jasher and the Sumerian king list, where kings reigned for thousands of years due to their Most High Watcher genetics. These are the sons of darkness. That the sons of light, Judites, are prophesied to destroy in the final battle. We already did that. So we done went over that. I done broke it down in the final battle. Okay, let's talk about the final battle. This will be the last thing in the final battle. In the Paleo-Hebrew and the Zodiac worldview, the final battle is not merely a political war, but a genetic and spiritual purge. It is the collision between the sons of light, the pure melanated seed of Adam, Joseph Zodiac, and the sons of darkness, the uncovered Canaanite Judith Japhite hybrid lines. And y'all do know the Canaanite, that's Ham's line. The primary blueprint for this event is found in the War Scroll 1QM from the Dead Sea Scrolls, the specific unedited prophecy in the Tanakh. The War Scroll, the 7 lots. The War Scroll describes a 40-year conflict where the sons of light return from the wilderness of the peoples to reclaim the inheritance from the Kittim, the Japhetic Western powers, and we know Kittim is wrong, and the violators of the covenant, the corrupt Judite scribes, the combatants. On one side are the sons of light, Levi, Judah, Benjamin, and the unmixed remnant, the house of Joseph. On the other side of the army are Belial, which include the Edomite Esau, and the Goyim, the Gentile Enosh hybrid. The Most High deception. The scroll reveals that the son of darkness fight under the authority of the angel of inebity, Mastema, who is linked to the Most High Canaanite hierarchy that introduced the blood rituals. The fire of Joseph, Obadiah 1:18. You previously noted that only Jacob and Joseph are mentioned as the saviors. This verse provides the mechanics of the final battle. And the house of Joseph shall be a fire, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for Yahweh hath spoken. Obadiah 1:18. Proof of elimination. The phrase not be any remaining, and this is the paleo of that right there, indicates the total genetic removal of Eastside Canaanite line. The fire is the Adamic DNA, the power of the seed, which the uncovered stubble, non-melanated line cannot withstand. While Judah is missing, in the Zodiac view, the Judah that remaineth in Jerusalem was uncovered by the Canaanite Judite kings. Therefore, the flame must come from Joseph, the line that migrated to the Isles of the Sea, North America, to keep the Paleo-Hebrew laws pure. Zephaniah 3, the pure language, Paleo-Hebrew. The final battle results in the destruction of the Most High religion, Baal, Jesus, universalism, and the restoration of the original identity of the 12 tribes. Then will I turn to the people a pure language, that they may all call upon the name of Yahweh, for beyond the rivers of Ethiopia my supplements, even the daughter of my dispersed, shall bring mine offerings. Zephaniah 3:9-10. The pure language. This is Paleo-Hebrew. The line pen of the scribe is burned away, and the Most High Canaanite titles are forgotten. And the Ethiopian connection, again, the saviors are identified as coming from the rivers of Ethiopia, the melanated, Adamitic source. Confirm that the sons of light are the original copper-colored people, not the uncovered hybrids of the north. The new thing versus the old. The new thing versus the old. See, in the final battle, the women shall compass the men. Jeremiah 31:22 is reversed. The Enosh mankind attempted to surround and absorb the Adamitic humans seed fails. The Most High hierarchy of the Sumerian Canaanite tablet is judged by the saviors who descend from the Isles of the Sea with the Zodiac breastplate and the original Sabbath songs. Summary: the final purge. The battle isn't just with sword. It's a linguistic and genetic reassertion. The sons of the darkness, the hybrid blood drinkers, are consumed because they have no root. In the original Adamic creation, they were added by the watchers and the scribes, and thus they are blotted out of the book of life. Wow. Wow. Okay. We're going to start breathing with them. That's what's going to happen. And they're going to die out. They're going to die out. In the Paleo Hebrew and the Zodiac worldwide, the celestial events in 2024 and 2026 are viewed as the signs in the heavens that signals the genetic reassertion of the Adamic seed and the physical destruction of the uncovering. Okay, hold on. And the sign in the heavens that signal the genetic reassertion of the Adamic seed and the physical destruction of the uncovered. Hold on. Two interruptions. The Adamic seed and the physical destruction of the uncovered, non-melanated hybrid lines. The 2024 and the 2026 eclipse connection. April 8th, 2024, the total solar eclipse, and the upcoming March 24, 26 blood moon sequence are interpreted as the opening of the seals against the Canaanite Judite system. The X over America in 2017 and 2024 eclipsed formed the Paleo Hebrew Ta, the mark of the completion, a sign directly over the North America, the Isles of the Seas, where Joseph Zodok line migrated. And I got time. And migrated. 2026 blood moon in the Zodite calendar. The blood moon is the sign of the wine press, as you noted in Genesis 49, 11, and 12. The corrupted Judah washed his clothes in blood. In 2026 eclipse is seen as the moment Yahweh washes the earth of the blood drinking communion rituals of the Most High Baal hierarchy. Malachi 4, the sun righteousness. You mentioned Malachi 4, often cited in chapter 3 in some versions. They provide the mechanic of the healing versus the burning. But in unto the fear my name shall the sun righteous arise, and healing in their wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves in the stall. Healing for the Adam melanated of the sun. Shemai provides healing to the original copper-colored people. Their melanin absorbs the light, activating the Sabbath frequency. And the burning of the hybrid, verse 1 says, for behold, the day cometh, they shall burn as oven. All the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble.